morning. We're going to continue this morning by reading Leaving and Returning by Abe Zucca. This is going to be the 9th part, Axioms of Fossil Poetry, on Emerson's metaphorical cognition and the paleontology of thought. Good morning. Let's start. Language is fossil poetry. Truths are illusions of which one has forgotten that they are illusions. Thought is metaphor and proceeds by comparison. Metaphor is not merely linguistic, but conceptual in nature. To live is to think metaphorically. Emerson's first intuition, nature and mind, are two aspects of one analogy. The material world is not the opposite of spirit, but its vocabulary. The world thinks by means of metaphor. Mind and matter are conjoined syntax. Every visible thing is a symbol, every symbol a fossil of living thought. Language does not adorn thinking, it is its mechanism. Consciousness unfolds through metaphor as genealogy through sediment. Consciousness unfolds through metaphor as geology through sediment. The living and the dead word. The first naming of a thing is not its life, but its petrification. Words live only when transferred. When owl becomes howl, raven becomes ravenous. The first metaphor is the soul of language leaving the body. Every etymology is a tombstone inscribed by imagination. To read language is to exhume the remains of creative perception. The dictionary is the graveyard of revelation. The metaphor as organism. Each metaphor begins as an organism. It breathes, moves, reproduces meaning. When its motion ceases, it becomes fossilized meaning, turns to grammar. Dead metaphors are the strata of thought's evolution. To think originally is to disturb these layers, to dig for living fossil. Paleontology and etymology share a single gesture, resurrection through attention. Emerson's philology is an archaeology of cognition. Conceptual metaphor as thought. To understand one domain by another is not a figure, it is an act of mind. Life is a journey, argument is war, good is up, the mind's unconscious equations. Conceptual metaphors are the infrastructure of experience. Reason proceeds through image. Logic is only its afterthought. Every abstract notion secretly wears a bodily disguise. The invisible is made comprehensible by the visible's borrowed form. The fossil and the forgetting. When Emerson calls fossil poetry, Nietzsche will call truth. Both name the same process, metaphor hardening into fact, vitality into convention. Every culture forgets its metaphors and mistakes them for nature. Custom is collective amnesia, grammar its architecture. To awaken is to perceive the metaphoric scaffolding of one's own reason. Enlightenment begins with etymological consciousness. The interactive metaphor. A true metaphor cannot be translated without loss. Meaning emerges in the commerce between contexts. Meaning emerges in the commerce between contexts. Thought advances by comparison, not deduction. The metaphor is not ornament, but transaction. The interactive metaphor creates knowledge by hybridizing domains. Insight is the collision of unlike worlds. Emerson's cognitive turn. Emerson anticipates the cognitive revolution, metaphor as the condition of thinking. His fossil poetry foreshadows conceptual metaphor theory by a century. For him, language is not the mirror of thought, but its geological record. The poet is a paleontologist of mind, the philosopher his taxonomist. Emerson's metaphors are conceptual experiments disguised as style. To think at all is to think poetically. The embodied schema. Thought arises from the body's encounter with space. We think time as movement, emotion as depth, virtue as height. Even the oversoul is a spatial metaphor. Divinity conceived as atmosphere. The transparent eyeball is the body transfigured into epistemology. All abstraction returns to the sensorium for nourishment. The spirit reasons through the flesh. The danger of ossification. When metaphor die, thought ossifies. When thought ossifies, culture declines. To live amid fossil poetry is to speak without creation. The critic deciphers fossils, the poet revives them. Civilization renews itself only by re-metamorphosizing its language. Every renaissance begins with linguistic resurrection.
Whether a poet brings someone back to life in a metaphorical or perhaps even a literal sense. Could you please provide more context or specify which poem or poet you're referring to? That way, a meaningful answer.
The poetic condition of knowledge. Philosophy begins as metaphor and ends as dogma. Science begins as analogy and ends as symbol. Only poetry remembers its origin as motion. The poet's task is not to invent, but to awaken the metaphors asleep in words. Truth is an active verb, not a static predicate. Knowledge in Emerson's sense is the continuous revival of metaphor. The infinite schema. Metaphor maps the finite onto the infinite, the known onto the possible. Every metaphor expands the field of thought by recreating a bridge of likeness. The mind structure is schematic, recursive, and analogical. Each schema holds infinite slots, awaiting new correspondences. Thus, thought itself is a combinatory art, an infinite syntax of resemblance. Metaphor is the algorithm of creation. And here we are with the final axioms. The living language. Emerson's faith. Language is the memory of imagination. To speak is to participate in evolution. Every sentence carries the sediment of countless transformations. When we say I, we are reciting an ancestral metaphor. To write is to reanimate the dead, to give the fossils breath again. Therefore, every word is a resurrection. So let's leave with that. Every word spoken is a resurrection of thought. Check out my art at zuccagallery.com. Come into my gallery at 1301 Grand Ave if you live in Phoenix, AZ. I'll see you later.